Have you ever wondered what it's like to see spirit? My name's Claire, and I help women all over the world connect back into that spiritual purpose, connecting back into that higher consciousness, so they feel really uplifted about the path of moving forward. So recently I've had a client ask me, what does it look like to see spirit? And as a natural born medium, I've been seeing spirit since I was teeny tiny. My mum might have worried that, why don't you want to go play with people after kinder or school? And it was like, I got plenty of people around me. What are you talking about? In my own little way. I could see spirit around me and they would tell me things like, Nana's going to ring. And sure enough, the phone would call or ring and there was Nana on the phone. So for me, I wonder how people don't have this connection. Like, how can you experience life without your spirit guides and your soul friends just hanging around, creating mischief, playing? So when I first discovered mediumship, actually like the structure of mediumship, getting on stage, asking the permission from the sitter, may I come to you? And then inviting spirit to literally come forward with their message, a little bit like the conduit between the spirit world and the human world, to give forward that proof of survival, that spirit is around. And it's like bringing forward that kind of detail that we would call toothpaste, the kind of detail where only you would know how your loved ones would, will they put the cap on their toothpaste, or do they leave their toothpaste in the shower, or maybe they don't brush their teeth at all. But it's the job of the medium is really to bring forward the truth and the evidence from the spirit world that the sitter would know to be true, that that gives that proof of survival, right? So I've often brought forward messages from the spirit world of of love, of mischief. I'm using that word because mostly my guides do bring forward that playful energy. I don't tend to attract in readings that are heavy duty, children dying or drug or suicide kind of experiences. My guides tend to allow the readings to come forward that want to bring forward messages of healing, upliftment, a confirmation that they're on the right path. My guides, my team will work with the library that's within my mind to help the sitter in front of me. And it just makes sense with the law of attraction that I would attract in a client, a sitter who has similar life experiences. With the law of attraction, the guides are going to utilize my library to give forward symbols, messages, fragrances, visions, so that I can help that sitter in front of me. Now, if I've got a sitter who's all about like history and war and the army and things, I am not the medium for them. And hopefully the guides will allow the doors open to somebody who does have an understanding of that kind of history, that kind of detail, because I just don't know it. And I don't even try to entertain the idea of knowing it. It's just not worth their time or my time. So what's it like when I'm doing a mediumship reading? Well, there is a friendly knowing that when the energy comes forward, it feels like, when you walk into a room after someone's like baked cookies and you can kind of smell that fragrance and you can feel the upliftment, the warmth of the sun shining through the windows. Like, you might not see it, but you can definitely feel it. And the contrast to that is like that energy when you walk into like a hospital or an airport, you feel the chaos. And the chaos isn't actually yours, but you've stepped into that energy. So that's a little bit like how spirit works with me. I can often feel the presence of, like, I'll know if it's like a masculine moving forward or a feminine moving forward. And it's actually using my intuitive inner knowing to connect in. And that inner knowing is a lot stronger than our five senses that the mind interprets. So as I bring forward that I give permission for that spirit to come closer. I know that I've got a masculine here, and then I'm starting to see in the movie screen of my mind the spirit there. I can see that he's got a really dark beard. I can see from the lines on his face that he was somebody who smiled a lot. He had a lot of joy to bring to the family. He often liked to wear red or maroon colored jumpers, By the way, I have no idea who this guy is, but he's definitely here because I could feel the tingles on my skin. I was like, oh, this is not my body. This is the energy of somebody else. And then in my mind, I will start to have a conversation with them. Okay, tell me what you want me to tell the other person. What is a piece of information about the other person? What have they done this week? Tell me what you've observed, what you've been doing in the spirit world. And, you know, they may bring forward information like, like I saw you driving in the car and your little ones in the back seat were pointing out something really crazy out the window, and it really did get your attention. You know, it might bring forward sort of random stuff there that's confirming that, like, yes, spirit was sitting in the car with you. They wanted to be part of your life. They were observing what was going on. Or they may want to say, you know, thank you for entertaining everybody at my funeral. Like, you did such a phenomenal job. I loved how you shared out the coconut cookies, or, you know, you brought forward that piece of music. Like, they will give that confirmation so that the medium can share that with the sitter. The intention is to give them a peace of mind that they're not alone, that the spirit is still there, part of their lives. Now, going back to that original question about what does it look like to see spirit, I am a medium who can see spirit outside of me. I have been known to be that crazy person to get up and notice that somebody's coming towards the front door, and I'll get up off the couch, go and open the front door, and then my girls kind of giggle and roll their eyes. Oh, mum's connected to spirit again. Because there really isn't anybody there. Or well, in spirit they are. Or I'll pull into the driveway of my home and there's a guy wearing a blue jumper and his gumboots, and it's like, what are you doing in my front garden? Like, you know, pulling weeds? Is this the neighbor from next door who's just, you know, keeping himself busy? What is this? And then realize from the response of everybody else in the car that they can't see that person there. And so that's the fun, that I see spirit like they are actually there. It sort of takes that moment to realize when other people can't see spirit that I've got into my mediumship abilities completely unaware. So I'm not sure if that answers that question for that person. What does it look like to see spirit? They look normal. If you're going on a ghost tour, going off to the jail, the Pentridge, they can look dark and shadowy. You can kind of see through them. I know that if I'm working with a spirit who has died of cancer and they want me to know that, they will bring on a bit of a dark shadow across themselves to let me know that the illness was heavy and drawn out. Or it could be the opposite, where they shine a really bright, vivid light, and I know that, like, there's probably an accident and they got taken out of the body before the accident ever actually happened. Again, thinking about somebody who's probably, I don't know, cars seem to be a theme in my message today, but somebody who's died of a car accident or something like that. Believe it or not, the spirit world has a way of taking us out of our body, pretty much putting us in pilot mode, so that the body and the soul doesn't experience the shock that our human selves would imagine if we had been hurt like that. There are a few safeguards that we don't actually have to experience that shock unless it's part of our blueprint. And so my client was also asking, okay, how can you see energy around objects? Now, I can see the energy around my plants. I know who needs a drink, who needs more sun, and I get an echo or a knowing from them. They have their own consciousness, like crystals have their own consciousness. And so when we raise our frequency, when we've cleared away any of the limitations of the human mind about why that's not possible, as we raise our frequency, we start to see more and more of the consciousness that is around us. And so as I'm holding one of my crystal balls here, wish this was real crystal, but it's glass, seeing energy around a plant kind of looks like that, just that moving holograph, moving around the energy, just like sensing somebody's aura. You can kind of see it, you can feel it, and it's almost like looking through the person. expanding your vision, which is called foveal vision, which invites your brain to go into a theta brainwave so that it allows that access to that creative spiritual energy. So there is the spiritual side again. There is scientific reasons why we do what we do. We do know about the theta brainwave. We do know about electromagnetic field. We do know about foveal vision, and a medium, a psychic, is very, very well trained to know how to switch into those gears, whereas a typical human just goes through life day to day completely unaware of what they're doing naturally. So I hope that answers a lot of questions about what does it look like to see spirit, how to connect into spirit, and how we see energy around us. I'm Claire, and I'll talk to you later.